Welcome back to the Scott Hepler Football Channel. Thank you for joining me. Today we're doing a preview of the Tottenham-Chelsea game on Thursday night. So we're going to talk a little bit about the teams, the matchup, and just my thoughts on what's going on with both of them and what this match may mean. So with that being said, we'll just jump right into the review. So right now Tottenham is sitting at 7th with 33 points. With a goal differential of 13, and Chelsea sitting at 8th with 33 points with a goal differential of 12. So really just one goal differential point separating two teams in position. So definitely something that means a lot in what's going to happen with our positioning going forward. So big game here. As far as the match history, in the last 5 games, Tottenham's won 1 against Chelsea, drawn 1, and lost 3. So we definitely need to show up. This is a big rival, so I want to see at least our boys show up. We've had trouble with that the last few games, so let's just show up with some passion, show up with some fight. Spurs in the last 5 games, all competitions, has 2 wins. So definitely need to show a little spunk and effort here. Chelsea in the last 5 games has 3 wins, so they're doing a little bit better. Just got a new coach 2 matches ago. 1 tie, 1 win in those 2. So we don't know what's going to happen with Chelsea right now. They're kind of in transition as far as the coach, the team, what's going on with them. So as far as the injuries, Spurs really is the only team between the two that has any injury issues. Obviously, Lo Celso, they're still saying he's 3 to 4 weeks away. Not good. Dele Alli, he's out with some unknown injury. Really, have not been told exactly what's going on with him, but so there's something there. They say he's not been in training, so definitely someone that we could at least have on the bench. And especially because we're kind of thin in that center midfield position. And then Rayon's still out, looking to be out probably for another few weeks. One of the bigger blows to our team. And then, of course, Harry Kane. Good news from the Mourinho press conference this morning, or at least this morning here for me in the United States. Kane's may be back next week, as early as the Everton game. So that would be a positive thing, providing we're not pushing Kane to get back to where he's going to just get re-injured or injured worse. I'd rather him sit out and let us ride out whatever we're going through to make sure he comes back and we don't lose him for months like we did last season. So, but that was some positive news coming out of the press conference. Also, some other news. Aurier's back, either in the lineup or on the bench or whatever. He's an option for this game. So that was another piece of news that came out. So with that being said, we're going to ponder upon this. Ponder upon which team will show up. And that's for both teams, Spurs and Chelsea. It can be argued that the last few games have been pretty horrendous for the Spurs, and it really has. I mean, there's no argument about it, really. But we had some pretty good run of form up into the last 2 games. And then definitely the Kane injury hurts us. But, this is a chance for Spurs to show what we're going to do for the rest of the season. Are we going to fight for a spot, top 5, or are we going to just try to stay in the top 10? So I think this is a pretty pivotal game for us here. As far as Chelsea, they've been kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team. I mean, sometimes they're leaking goals left and right, which seems to kind of been shored up with bringing in Thiago and getting him settled in within the team finally and things like that. So it looks like they're kind of getting their defense settled, which was a atrocious for a while. But when they were letting in tons of goals, they were scoring. Now, they're kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team with defense and their offense right now. So, it's just, are they going to show up and score and play defense, or are they going to give away goals and not score anything? So, both teams right now can be very Jekyll and Hyde-ish, I would say. Some of the key things, I think, for the Spurs, who's going to be on forward? I mean, it's kind of up in the air. I think one of the biggest things is, what formation do we run? And I don't ever want to see us in a back three again, myself. Last 2 games back three, and we just really did not do anything at all successfully. So a back three to me is a very poor option. Each time we ran the back three, our midfield was completely exposed, and that just, we don't have the talent to have that weak of a midfield. So with that being said, who's going to play that central forward spot? A couple options. Vinicius. Personally, I think Bell should be an option. I know when I was watching the Brighton game, in the pregame leading up to the game, the commentator said that Bell and Jose had a conversation, and Bell did not want to be up front. He wanted to be out on the wing. To me, if you want Bell in the game, especially without Kane there, throw him up front for a couple reasons. One, he won't have to track back and won't get his wore down. 2, he's a little bit bigger than Bergwijn, who they stuck up front in last game. And I don't think Son should be moved off the left wing, because he is a point of strength for us out there on that left wing. And moving him into the middle, still a great player, but does not fill that role as well as what he does out on the wing. So you're taking something that's great and moving it to good. And then you're replacing the great on the wing with something that's, if we're lucky, average to above average. So there's no one that can fill that left wing like Son. And if Chelsea runs a back three like they have been the last 2 games, Son's going to have some opportunities out there on that wing. If we stick him in the middle, he's going to have to fight up against 3 central defenders. And he's just not that guy. He's not that big guy that can get in there and do it. Bell's a little bit bigger. Let him get in there. He might be able to last the whole game up front. The other option is Vinicius. I don't have any problem seeing Vinicius in there. I don't think we've given him enough of a shot this season at that forward position. And I'd like to see what he could do up there. And he's got some pace to him too. So, definitely the only concerns I have about him a little bit is some of his touch, distributing the ball and things. But, I mean, last game, everyone had trouble with touch and distributing the ball and passing. So, can't get much worse than that. The other thing I think is very important for the Spurs is central midfield. I don't think we can do a back three, like I said. So if we go with a back four, and whether it's a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, as long as we have 3 midfielders and we could put Ndombele up in that central attacking midfielder spot, so there's not a huge gap between the midfield and the forwards, as in the Brighton game, he can get up there, work in with the forwards and the offensive attackers, and allow the other 2 midfielders to kind of float and fill those voids behind him and right in front of the defense. Another thing that'll do for him is he won't be running everywhere. He was running around like a chicken with his head cut off when we were in the 3-back formation. In both games, Liverpool and Brighton, he got gassed. in the first 45 minutes. Couldn't do anything in the second half. So if Ndombele is up front, that gives us our best creative threat right behind the forwards and gives him his best opportunity to stay in the game for 75 to 90 minutes, if not more. So definitely got to have Ndombele in there in that attacking midfielder position. And so that's a big key, I think, for us too. The next thing is our D-backs. I know Aurier's in the doghouse right now, but I mean, who do we trust more right now, Doherty or Aurier, or Tanganga? I mean, I definitely don't trust Davidson. I think putting Musa back there is a failing option. I think Musa should be in the midfield with Ndombele and Hepler, and because Musa can help us in that midfield be the energy and the force along with Hepler. And he can keep up with some of the pacier people that Chelsea have. I don't think Winks should be in that midfield. But the two back wings, D-backs, there's just not a lot of options right now. I think you're going to have to go with Davies. If you put him in, if we're in a back four, I think that's better because and especially with that, the attacking prowess that Chelsea has, I would not put a lot of strain on him to get forward either. So Aurier, I know he's been in the doghouse the last week or so, but up until just recently, he's actually had a really good season compared to last season. So, I mean, everyone makes mistakes, and I don't know. There's just not a great option for us right now. Defensive backs, we're really, really thin without Reguilon. Definitely our strongest defensive back in any formation that we run. So definitely need our defensive backs to just play solid this game. They're going to be up against it all game long. There's just a lot of offensive prowess on that Chelsea side. A key for the Chelsea team, the way they've been running those wing backs, especially with Hudson-Odoi as one of those wing backs, that has been a very potent attack, and it's created a lot of problems for teams. And I do worry about Davies going up against Hudson-Odoi and whoever else they put out on that right side. It's very nerve-wracking, and I don't know. We seem to be best defensively when we've got a four-back line and we've got Hepler and Sissoko right in front of them. And then they kind of fill the channels and the voids that happen within the back four as the other teams are attacking. So, but that does concern me greatly, is on that right side of Chelsea, and especially the way Odoi's playing. He's tearing it up right now. And the other thing I think we need to watch for in this game is going to be the Conte versus Ndombele battle. If Conte's able to go, and I think he will be. It seems like that he's recovered from that hamstring injury. So if he's in there, and how's Ndombele going to be able to handle that? Will he be able to work around that? And it's going to be a very interesting battle. So both these teams, it really is a kind of a game that's going to define what really happens the rest of the season for both teams. So I think depending on who shows up is really who's going to win this game. Whether it's the Spurs and we show up and we actually play great defense and we get 1 or 2 goals. I don't really see us getting a lot of goals without Kane in there. So our best bet, get in that nice tight packed formation, just like we did against Man City and some of the other teams, frustrate Chelsea to where all they do is loop it around the horn time after time, do nothing but sideways and backwards passes, and frustrate them to where they just check out. And that might give us an opportunity to get 1 or 2 goals on a counter or something. Chelsea shows up and they're firing, I don't know if we can stop them. So definitely going to be an interesting game tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Been very frustrated the past few games, but always hopeful that our team will do something. As far as what do I really think that is going to happen, I honestly don't think that we're going to win this game. I think we'll lose it 1-0 or 2-0 or 2-1. It's going to be a pretty tight game, but because I think Mourinho's going to make us park the bus. But I don't think we have the ability to keep them out if that's all we do is park the bus. And I don't think we have the people and the legs right now to go and do a lot of hard pressing if we want to put our strongest team out there on the field. But we'll be looking to see what happens, and just hope the Spurs do well and pray that our boys get healthy soon and that no one else gets hurt. So good luck to the Spurs, and if you like what you see here and you like my video, hit the like button, subscribe, support the channel. I appreciate it, and we'll see y'all later. Come on, you Spurs.